Okay, we're finally here. Hopefully the quality of the audio isn't bad because it's a little windy. But yeah, let's let's head out. This is the path to the track. Here's a little playground set. But yeah, fire. The reason why I wanted to actually just go on a walk and have this little talk is because uh, stuff like this is kind of nice to do. Walking and kind of reflecting, and I'm essentially thinking out loud as I'm just talking about whatever's on my mind. I've done this before many times. I always go here to just go on a walk and just think. And a guy like me, I tend to just, think about stuff. I won't necessarily act on it, but it will just be thoughts just left in my brain. And I guess now it's kind of nice because I can just walk and just talk about stuff. And I feel like hopefully the stuff that I say or the stuff that I talk about out loud, I will act on. Also, I got a little hungry, so I bought myself a little Rice Krispie treat, a little bit of a carb load up. But anyways, this is the little trail I like to go on. It's pretty nice. If you have a dog, you can walk here and, you know, have like a nice little time, get some cardio in. But I used to live around here, so I would come here and walk around this little track, just to think. And I moved a little farther away from this place now, but I still come here and, walk because it's a nice place. It is my birthday today. I am 23 years old now, and it doesn't feel any different from, when I was 22 or 21 or any ages before that. I decided to record today, even though it's my birthday, to kind of just, create a timestamp for me and be able to look back at this. I'm not really going to go out of my way to, celebrate my birthday. I haven't really done that in a while. And, I think the only time I really celebrated hard was when I was 21. But, yeah, it's not bad. I kind of just like to have normal days when I'm, when I turn a certain age. I am sick, so, hopefully my performance isn't really affected. But yeah, after making that first video, I've kind of really understood the dynamic and how I kind of want my videos to be made. Sure, there's gonna be times where I'm gonna have some brain fog on what to record and stuff like that, but as long as I'm going to the gym, I'm going to create content. I think the more videos I make, the more thought I'm gonna put into it. I think there's a lot of things I can do to, create content. But other than that, yeah, I don't want to dwell on it too much because I know that if I create a certain momentum, I know I will keep going on it and everything will turn out fire. You guys did watch my last video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know it was long, 32 minutes, holy shit, almost 33 minutes. But me creating that long of a video, I guess was supposed to just kind of, have me get out of my zone. I don't know how I want my videos to turn out. I don't even know if I want to hire a cameraman record me workout because there's a lot of videos of people, working out with a cameraman, getting insane cinematic shots, getting those thirst trap shots and stuff like that. And I don't know if I want to do that or not. I feel like with the body that I have, stuff like that, I still need to work on it a little bit more. But yeah. One thing that I realize is that being 23, it feels good because I've learned a lot. I have learned a lot. Like when I turned 22, I feel like I was more depressed and more lost. And, I still feel lost, but I feel like I'm taking action on this mindset. It's easy to be lost, but it's really what you do to act on that. As of right now, obviously, I don't know what I want to do as a career. Like being 23, it's insane. Not knowing what you want to do. Like I'm not in school, I'm just working, I'm doing content on the side. And, I'm trying to figure out what I really want to do with my life. And obviously to some people that is a little scary. But at the same time, it's kind of interesting because you just have this like limitless thought of just like, okay, what do I want to do with my life? When I was 22, I was feeling really, really sad about where I was at currently. I feel like I dealt with a lot of bullshit or shit that I just really did not need to, endure. I experienced a lot, I experienced a lot of losses. I experienced a lot of just like, people not in my life no more. And it's just like, overall just being sad, and I almost embraced that sadness. I isolated myself from a lot of people, even people that genuinely wanted to surround themselves with me. I isolated myself because I felt like I really needed to be in tune with my emotions. And I feel like I wouldn't be able to do that if I was with people. I understand now, being 23, that surrounding yourself with people is very, very, very necessary. A plethora amount of like emotions that can really be helped when you're surrounded with people, whether it's family, friends, or, just even acquaintances. Even people that I barely even know that randomly have a conversation with me while I'm working out or see me in public. It really helps me get my mind out of whatever I was thinking. For example, I'll be working out and it'll be one of those workouts where it's like, damn, I'm really letting out some demons. When someone you know from the gym comes up to you and talks to you, especially while you're fatigued or while you're kind of just, getting the stares and zoning out, it really like pulls you out of the, sadness or the overwhelming thought that you're going through. And it puts you in the present. The people that actually come up to me and talk to me, it really does help, like I may not say it because obviously that's just me, I feel like me talking to them is just already enough for me or enough to show that I'm very grateful for them talking to me or picking a conversation at me. But it's very, 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 thoughtful, and I'm very grateful to have any type of conversation with anyone if I come across them. I really do appreciate it. I will, think about a lot of stuff while I'm working out, or think about a lot of stuff when I'm alone. When you're not doing anything, or whether you're doing something that you genuinely don't like, you will develop this mental free time, and you will kind of just like, think about stuff. Let's say you're at a job that you don't like, or let's say you're waiting for something that you are not really like, you're basically bored, like let's say, if you don't have your phone or in an environment where you feel like you don't want to be there, you will just be in your head basically. And I've learned from that is that, that is essentially your mental free time to kind of just go wherever. Typically you are not present in wherever you're at. And I've done that many, many times. There's even times where I'll be in my room. I could be watching shows, movies, like I could be going through my phone. I could be just like doing random bullshit in my room, but there'll be times where I'll just be sitting in there doing nothing, just thinking, and then crying, and then like thinking about things that I cannot control. One thing I've realized from that is it's like, that obviously doesn't help. It's good sometimes to kind of, constructively think about things and critically think about things, but when you do it for a long span of time and when you do it consecutively, that could really fuck up your brain. The overwhelming feeling of just continuously thinking about something that you cannot change, or that you're not going to act on it and actually try to change it, it's hard. It's definitely something that I don't want anyone to really go through, or I don't want anyone to do, because there's really no point. It's a waste of time, a waste of energy. Even your thoughts and ambitions of trying to start something like a project, a business, or content creation, or setting up a routine for yourself, or those moments where you're like, okay, let me lock in, and what, it's pointless to think about what you're going to do to make this change. I think you should just think about those things as you're doing it, basically learning as you go. That's obviously a no-brainer, but to some people, even myself, that's something that I didn't really realize, because it's just like, that's, I guess, how my mind worked at a point. And now, obviously, that's changed. You don't understand how long it's been since I've kind of had this idea to start content. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll make little clips, 20-second clips on Instagram of me, showing off my physique, but that's not necessarily what I wanted to really do. Like, that was kind of just like the peak of me showing off my physique and, showing off what I've been working on. But that's not really something that I kind of wanted to, do for a long time. And I knew it won't take me anywhere. Especially like, the only thing that it'll really do is kind of here or there give me compliments and stuff like that. But I don't know. I have so much work I need to do, whether it's on myself or whether it's on anything I can control, really. I think sooner or later, I know I'm going to realize that I'm glad I started this journey, because I don't know, I don't know where my life is going, so I might as well document it. Because I think as I document these videos, I'm starting to hear myself and starting to hear like, okay, I do need to do these things, or I do need to finish this, or, I do need to be at this point in life, even though I'm 23, I still have thoughts about going to school. Even though I don't know what I'm gonna do at school, I feel like it will propel me to kind of think about what I truly wanna do in life. Most people think that school is a scam, but sometimes school could be used as that thing to kind of just like get you out of bed to make you awake and make you more vigilant in where you're at in life. Like, if you are studying something in college where you think it's pointless, I feel like it's not pointless, because the fact that you went out of your way to spend money that you had to, invest yourself and invest your time into something that you don't know you're gonna use in life. At least at the end of the day, you're using school to get you out of bed, because maybe if you weren't in school, what is the chances of you having the motivation to get out of bed? Like, if you didn't have school and you know that you have nowhere you need to be, you don't need to be anywhere, what are your chances of getting out of bed and actually doing things that you should be doing? So I think school is definitely one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, it's not a bad thought. One thing I've realized is being 23, it's the time to act on things, I say that a lot, and I tend to, have that mindset every time I turn a certain age, whether it's turning 20, 21, 22, and even 23. But if I don't start now, I don't think I ever will,